Hey.
All right, hello. Thank you for having us. My name is Shafe. I'm joined alongside Aiko. This is Ori in the Blind Forest.
Which XP? We should both take it. Why not? It loses like half a second, and it could be XP, which is useful. By half a second, I mean like 5. That's so useful, yeah. God. Skull is telling me if we get stuck, I should just DM her. Nah, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Fine. Xemsys. Alright, I'm pressing the start game button. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I'm game storage. No one saw that. Here we go. All right, wanna take a lift? Okay.
Very
But
handy to have that early. They're also going down here to collect this energy cell. It is the only pickup in the game, one of two pickups that aren't randomized. The other one is not randomized because of reasons. And it looks like Athos is going to continue on towards Sign. There's another pickup that's down below that he's going to grab, and they're basically just trying to separate early to cover as much ground as possible.
And that first pickup that Athos found under Sign was in fact the Hologrove teleporter, which is the first card on the bingo card. And now that that's revealed, we get information about 3 new goals: collect 5 underwater pickups, stomp a peg, and get 16 keystones. The stomp a peg goal is the most interesting of those because it requires access to a skill or a very, very long obnoxious lure. You can stomp some pegs, including that one with a Frankie. Over on the right, Zem just did a really fun trick where if you pause during a physics collision, the physics collision keeps applying, and he used that to swing that platform up with a grenade, and he's now going to do the save, quit, and reload so he can get the pickup that is there, but not visible except for the first frame, and it was a keystone. So they have now grabbed both those pickups that despawn. And it looks like Zem missed the pickup, so he's going to go for the that physics trick I was talking about again. You'll see him throw and then watch, and you can see in the background as the swing is just sort of spinning up, and he has... Oh, okay, he's fine. He was out of bounds a little bit, but he got back inbounds, and now he's going to be able to grab this pickup, and it was just some experience.
Oh, in the meantime, Xemsys is heading off to the what we call the wall jump area. Stomp, very nice pickup. That's actually incredibly important for them to get both grenade and stomp early. There are some pickups in the game that are uniquely locked by those particular skills, so now they don't have to worry about going on a hunt to find them. So that's always handy, but they are lacking in the wall interaction front, so there's still going to be some digging to be done. Wouldn't be surprised to see possibly either a teleporter or some form of other traversal skill, perhaps Bash, which they can use to get off of their grenades, or some other form. Still looking to basically try and split up as much of this early game as possible. Head to Blackroot, ideally, get some pickups there. And in essence, in co-op, what you want to do is you want to try and split up the map. And not cover each other's ground unless you absolutely have to for resources. Some of the major items like the skills and teleporters and world events are shared, but health cells, ability cells, and energy cells are not. So that might be something that you see the runners backtrack for now and again.
Yep. We can talk a little bit about what's going on right now. Because the runners don't have the ability to climb upwards in any meaningful way, they don't have double jump, they can't interact with walls, they are very limited on their the initial places they can go. They've got this teleporter earlier, and now they're going to check out a few things that they can get with that. Xem is doing some very careful combat. He doesn't want to take any damage here. And he's going to throw a grenade and get the pickup that is up and off screen. And now what he's going to do, or sorry, not Xem, on the left is Xem. And he's going to do a trick where he's done a menu storage here, and he's going to walk across some spikes, die, and then save after dying. And that will give him a little bit of respawn and vulnerability and let him get past these spikes, even though he would not normally be able to do that.
Oh yeah, one thing worth noting with the bingo board with this discovery format, you can see that some of it's not revealed yet. Just noticing on the stream that it's got a little bit of a bug. You can see the collect pickups in Blackroot over towards the lower right-hand side, and then the orthogonally adjacent tiles are revealed for you. They aren't actually revealed for the runners, so they don't know what's around there. So just something to keep in mind as they're pursuing some goals here.
Yeah, that's the runners. Runners can only see the collect pickup in Blackroot goal, and then the activate Hologrove TP and the things around it.
Oh.
I like this play from Athos immediately heading towards the stomp area. There's their wall interaction. As I'm just picking up climb, so that's very nice. That gives them a little bit more mobility. That means that Athos can now safely head into Grotto without having to worry about alt-Ring, which is a feature built into the randomizer to prevent soft locks and also allow you to go fast. It returns you to the start of the game. And conveniently, there's a teleporter right there that also lets them get back around the map to the areas that they want to go to relatively quickly. It looks like Athos is going to check the Horror Fields health cell here. Not too shabby. Still low.
Stomp the peg while he's here, which will be nice. It'll give him, it'll give us information about the cards, a couple cards. So that is a nice goal. Xem, meanwhile, has gone rather far out of logic and actually took a rather major death. But it looks like Athos at that health cell has found clean water, which we actually got to see on Zem's stream first as it got shared. And with that, they'll also be able to collect those underwater pickups really easily and grab some more things in logic.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that's kind of one of those easy cards that you want to get off the table as early as possible. But with only 3 HP, it's kind of difficult to damage boost through water, so clean water allows them to get access to all of that relatively quickly. Not a whole lot of underwater pickups in the immediate vicinity of either runners, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see one of them head to somewhere else to try and get that one solved out pretty quick. They've got the Horror Fields TP Stomp peg available, which Athos was near but didn't get. That would have unveiled 3 additional tiles for them. Not really a big deal early on. You're still kind of looking for traversal ways to get around the map and to do so quickly, but also nice to just kind of have that information. So it's a little bit of a player discretion thing.
Yep. And one of the hardest things about playing basically any bingo mode is keeping track of, especially randomized bingo, is keeping track of both the goals that you have active and the what items you can and can't get in logic. And then in co-op, it's further made more difficult by trying to figure out where your ally has and hasn't been, and so there's definitely sometimes where coordination issues can come up.
Yeah, it seems like you've got Xemsys pause here precisely perhaps for some of that coordination as they're talking through some of the seed possibilities as, where they want to go and how they want to cover some other ground here. We're probably going to see that a few times throughout the course of this run. Athos going into what we have called the butter cell for out of bounds reasons. You don't need to know about it, and a little bit of resources here so far. And Spirit Caverns for Xemsys, always good. Some extra keystones, very handy with that keystones in inventory, 4 out of 16 tile that they want to unveil as well. A little bit surprised they haven't gone into Blackroot, but then again, climb only Blackroot is kind of poopy, so I don't blame them.
Yeah, they also found that climb pickup a little bit out of logic, so I would understand not wanting to go for it right away until with their current health amount, it is not considered possible for them to climb over those spikes. All right, that's a second energy cell for Zem, and oh, that's up to 4 energy. That means he'll be able to go through 4 energy doors, like the one that is right here. This is a cute little tutorial where Sign tells you that how 4 energy doors work. The dialogue would be disabled, and also they don't have sign, so Ori just sort of stares at the door blankly, and then you get control back.
Yeah, I guess they don't. They aren't gonna know how to open those doors then, because they don't have sign. Not there to tell them how to do it. So, rip runners.
Yeah, they may never figure it out. Luckily, Athos has gotten into this 4 energy door near spawn via an alternate route that doesn't require 4 energy door, so he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, energy doors is one of the possible tiles that will appear for the runners. So having that 4 energy is actually pretty handy to have early on. Some of the other goals that they could possibly see, we can talk about those briefly as they're kind of wandering around here checking some stuff for some more skills. There's open purple doors, which basically means go kill some mini bosses. There's light lanterns, which would require grenade, which they have, which is nice. Break walls, they have stomp, which allows them to break a whole bunch of walls. And we actually just saw one of the first bonus pickups in the pool. I go with the warp, and that has allowed Xemsys to go get wall jump.
Yep, and he has warps are basically static pickups that you can use and reuse, and what they'll do is they will take you to a specific location. Zem just used one to go into Valley of the Wind, and with that he was able to pick up wall jump for his team. Wall jump and climb do very similar things. However, in the base game, you're supposed to get wall jump first and then climb later. They got climb first, which makes a couple things either difficult or impossible to reach, but having both is actually rather nice. And we're seeing Zem do some save scumming here where he picks up a pickup and then decides that he doesn't want it, checks other stuff, and then heads out. And now he's back here to this warp location. I think he's going to stomp on these rocks, which is going to trigger a cutscene that will get him the skill location for Feather.
Yeah, and one of the advantages of going for these skill locations early is that the randomizer has clues for the dungeon keys, where every third skill tree that you visit, you get a clue for either the Sunstone, Water Vein, or Gumon Seal, which open up Horu, Ginzo, and Forlorn Runes, respectively. It is entirely possible that there will be goals either in and around those dungeons. So it's kind of useful to get to at the very least 3 trees early, and we can see that the Sunstone is in Ginza, which, given that they could potentially have a couple Horu locked items to pick up, that's really good information to have early.
We're also seeing that our runners just picked up Charge Jump. Charge Jump is the last skill you get in the game. It is one of the best skills in the game, and combined with Grenade and Climb, our runners are going to be able to use some very, very fast, precise movement technique called a Grenade Jump. We actually saw Zem do one already. We will probably see one or more of those soon, but first Zem is going to do some damage boosting on saves, and here we can see he's using Climb and Charge Jump at the same time to get up this wall and break these things here and grab an attack upgrade. Attack upgrade is one of the many pickups that was added specific to the randomizer. It basically, every attack upgrade lets actually, most of the function of attack upgrade is useless for these our runners because it mostly upgrades sign, but it will also upgrade the damage their grenades deal, which is going to be very nice.
Mm-hmm. And the way that grenade jumps work, we'll just touch on that real quick, is if you're holding Climb up against the wall, throw a grenade and then Charge Jump after it, you get a whole bunch of horizontal momentum, which you will see Athos attempting there on the right side, and gets it very nice, lands, opens up the lantern, and he's going to be able to check a couple of pickups over here at the stomp tree. Also get 4 out of the 10 trees and progress towards the next clue. And Xemsys is back towards the Glades TP. He's opening up a save anywhere. This is a menu storage trick. Allows him to move with Ori behind this menu and then level up an ability, which saves the game. And we use that to skip cutscenes and some other fun stuff.
Yep. There are a couple. It's a lot of Ori lets you skip some of the longer cutscenes in the game. Not all of them, but some of them. But for a lot of the shorter ones, the game doesn't provide a method of skipping cutscenes. But with that menu storage bug, it is definitely a really nice thing for us to have because we can save right after the cutscene starts and then skip it. Now, because our Zem waited to get all of these skills to get into Blackout, he is going to take a Death to the Spikes. He is going to be able to get through this area much quicker than you would normally be able to. He has a lot of very powerful skills for interacting with stuff here, especially Grenade. It lets you avoid having to do a lot of the stuff with the lantern, the like little light orb that's like the base mechanic here.
Yeah, really speed stop going through Blackout. Don't blame the runners for waiting until they had some extra stuff to be able to go through here. So Xemsys will probably clear this out and possibly head into lower Blackout. In the meantime, we have collect underwater pickups solved by Athos, which opens up collect pickups in Valley as our A2 square, and light lanterns is 2-5, and that's a very low amount of lanterns to light, so that is very easily achievable and could open up a couple extra tiles for the runners as well. Lacking double jump, extra double jump doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't mean that you have picked up an extra copy of double jump in the seed. It means that you would have an extra double jump if you already had the base skill. So sad moment for the runners. They will be thumping, Bible thumping, I'm presuming, IRL. But in the meantime, they now have a little bit more knowledge about where to go. Just in case you're joining us, a reminder with the little bit of a glitch on the screen there. They can't see the right side of the card that you can see right now, other than the collect pickups in Blackout. So that's one of the reasons that Xemsys is here now with the increased traversals. He's going to be able to open that up and reveal the adjacent tiles.
Speaking of revealing tiles, Athos has gone back and grabbed that Horror Fields teleporter peg, and that is going to reveal two new pegs. One is Drain the Swamp. That is a very specific basically vertical wall floor in the swamp area that once you break it is going to, or drains a bunch of liquid and lets you pass through. They have the skills they need to do that, and also open each purple door, stomp area Rhino. Basically they need to defeat 3 mini boss encounters scattered throughout the map. One of them is in Horu, so they are going to have to find that sunstone or the teleporter into Horu. Luckily they know the sunstone is in the Ginso tree, so that will help things along.
Yeah, and that's a pretty convenient bit of knowledge for the runners to get at this moment. They have everything that they need to get into lower Blackout, and there's the 2 frog door there. You can see the lower BRB frogs that Xemsys can just dive down and get right away. He also has access to a whole horde of lanterns out there, so this will open up a significant portion of the card for the runners on Xemsys' side. Will allow them to get another 5 or so tiles, 7 total tiles opened up just from Blackout, basically. It's very nice.
Yeah, that'll be pretty sweet. We also saw them find the Gumon seal, and given that they already have the Forlorn teleporter, that means that they have full access to the middle dungeon of the game. I expect to see one of them to head there to do for that Keystones and Inventory goal at some point. Forlorn has, among other things, basically one of the easiest key duplication glitches in the game. But hold on, Athos just found the water vein, and that's huge. It's right next to where he needs to be to get into the Ginso tree, so I expect he'll clean up this area and then head back and climb up that Ginso tree so he can find the sunstone.
Oh, very nice. Charge Flame as well. They have grenades, so that's kind of a whatever pickup. Maybe a little bit of convenience in terms of redirecting enemy projectiles or something like that, but otherwise not too impactful for this particular seed for the runners at the moment. But as you say, kind of a pretty convenient flow here to this seed so far, with the water vein being right there. Xemsys knowing that he has goals that he can achieve immediately inside Blackout burrows. Just kind of one small thing worth noting is Xemsys turned in a map stone there. Pickups are progressive off map stones. When you turn them in, the first pickup will always be the same, the second pickup will always be the same, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter where you turn the map stones in. So we now have visit Wind Restored or the Gumon Seal locations as a tile. We have open energy doors, which is available to Xemsys mostly. Athos is still on 3 energy. And get pickups from ability cells, and energy cells is 2 out of 6, so that's basically free. Ability cells a bit high at 17, but there are 33 in the game, so not too bad.
Yeah, 17 is a little bit on the high end, and it's going to require one of them to make a dedicated effort to be grabbing those, but it isn't too bad. And Athos is very good at the all cells category, so we can be pretty sure that he knows where those ability cells are.
Yeah, Athos has one of the top times in all cells, no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere, so he's very familiar with it. Xemsys has played an absolute boatload of Rando, so he's very familiar with it. Xemsys, you saw take a warp there and die to a laser intentionally and then just back right out. That might be incredibly confusing But there are certain tiles available in this bingo that will require you to die to certain things, and the Lost Grove laser is one of them. So, not too surprising to see him do that, and then just go on to check some other stuff, just in case that happens to be one of the goals that they need to achieve. In the meantime, Xemsys is looking to check a couple pickups here in Lower Grotto, what we call the Grotto Vault. He's got an energy cell that he can grab here, which will get him halfway towards that goal. Athos has entered the Ginzo tree in search of the Sunstone and other things. He is trying desperately to do grenade jumps because he loves them, and is having fun with that. Let's see if he's going to get the one through the portal. There, you can do a pretty tight one off of that I-beam there. Looks like not. So he's just going to charge up his way through and continue doing some checks here. Not a whole lot, surprisingly, in the way of air sustain for the runners yet. Most notably, we're looking at Bash Glide and Double Jump for that. So there's a lot of damage boosting that the runners have to do. Dash would also allow them to get some extra air sustain. I believe they do have one of the extra air dashes picked up, but obviously they can't use it because they don't have dash.
Dash or double jump would be an incredible find for these runners. But for now, I think they're just going to have to content themselves with the rather powerful array of skills they do have already. Xemsys takes some damage on the spikes. What's interesting about the skills they have is that while they are very powerful, they are a little awkward. They just can't. Zem has to do either charge up a charge jump to move sideways or risk taking damage on spikes. And now he's going to head over here and go into a little fight with this enemy, though it isn't going to be much of a fight. Charge jump does 50 damage, and the very few things in the game have more than 100 health. Zem showing off a little using a stomp to redirect a shot back at it. Meanwhile, we're seeing Athos having a little bit of trouble up here. He actually opened up a save anywhere to see if he could grab some or get some extra safety while moving through that spike room, but he gets through, and now he's on to this little redirect puzzle. He's going to catch this shot and then shove this teleporter through. This isn't the vanilla solution of the puzzle, but it is faster, and he's just going to ignore that little redirect block up above and get through here to the lower Ginso mini boss.
So just as a sort of vocal heads up to you guys, we do know that there are issues with the bingo board updating on the stream. We are working on fixing that. In the meantime, we will keep you updated on some of the cards that changes that have gone on here. Collect underwater pickups on the left-hand center square there has been highlighted and has revealed collect pickups in Valley, which is 12 total that they need to grab. And I believe, other than the each purple door and the drain the swamp squares, you guys can see everything that we can. Open energy doors is still at 2 out of 5. It's a relatively free goal, just requires a little bit of running around. Not a whole lot in the way of energy doors in the game, and that's kind of one of those things I think that you might just kind of wait until you're conveniently passing rather than specifically targeting those goals. Athos not having fun in Ginzo with 5 HP and having to do a whole bunch of damage boosts to check pickups. Still in search of the Sunstone. They do have both of the other dungeon keys, obviously, because they're in Ginzo, and they have the Forlorn one as well. Opening up the keystone door while checking pickups, efficient use of time, and we'll be heading further up, hitting the Bash Tree, which is about halfway through the dungeon. And looks like Xemsys is going to be doubling back here into Grotto. He's got an energy door you can open up. Gets a convenient drop, actually, from the frog, which allows him to open up this door and check it. It is a vanilla ability cell, not too shabby. That also satisfies not squares totally, but makes some progression towards them. 2 of them.
Yep. And because the bug that we're seeing is that Zem's progress is going to be what's reflected on the board down there. So we see things. So now we get to see on the board that Collect Valley pickups and light lanterns are there. We also saw Zem just drowned an amphibian for the first time, and that was actually one of the goals. The runners don't know that yet because of what the board they're looking at looks like, but that is going to be a nice, helpful thing for them to have access to.
Yeah, that opened up break walls 5 out of 20. That is a lot of walls. And if Athos is paying attention to what can just generally be on the bingo card, I think there was actually one wall in the puzzle block room that he didn't open up, which would have been progress towards that. And it's like I said, it's a kind of a bit of a high number for that particular square. We'll see how the runners end up handling that. Glide, though, is the air sustain that I was alluding to earlier. Very nice pickup to have. They don't have wind restored yet, I don't believe, so it's not as handy as they would like it to be. And that is a meme. The Ginzo teleporter is in Ginzo.
That's actually very handy. It makes sense to want to grab this, but that being there means that he won't have to damage boost higher up that room and have to worry about things in that way.
Also saves keystones because he doesn't have to burn them on the door there. You can just go straight through.
Yep. It's going to be a nice thing to have. Oh man, above that open energy doors pickup, we can now see get both pickups, BRB right laser AC and Lost Grove swim AC. Those are both pickups very deep in Blackroot, so I would not be surprised to see one of our runners venturing further down there. However, for now, it looks like we are going to see Athos continuing up the Ginso tree in search of that sunstone.
This is actually sort of worth noting as one of the harder parts. When you're picking up the randomizer, and if you decide to open up bonus pickups, if you remember from earlier in lower left, Grotto's Xemsys had found a warp down to the Lost Grove area, which would speed up the collection of the Lost Grove swim AC very, very quickly. And whether or not he remembers that, I'm sure he does. He plays a lot of bingo, but that's just kind of one of the small details that you want to pay attention to as a runner. So in the meantime, Athos is looking to possibly... No, it doesn't look like he wants to go all the way up Ginzo just yet.
I think he's key-duping here.
Reverse key-dupe. Very nice. Yep.
Yeah, this is one of the later key dupes. Putting keystone in these doors backwards was a feature we added to the randomizer fairly late. This is one of the key dupes that became possible because of that, and it's really neat. You really don't have to go very far away from the door to get it, and it's very easy to land on those spikes and die. So you see Athos, every time he dies, is getting 3 more keystones, because when you die with keystones in a door like this, you get them refunded twice, and he's going to keep doing this until he has enough keystones to fulfill that bottom card requirement. And he is, he's got all of the keystones he needs for that, and that is going to unlock that card for them.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. Alright, and speaking of orbs, that is the sunstone. That's a circle, kind of.
Perfect.
It's like an orb. And that means that they have access to all 3 dungeons, which is going to be really sweet. And it means that Athos is not going to have to do that Ginso escape to find it.
Just in case there's any confusion, I just want to clarify something that I had mentioned earlier regarding the Mapstone pickups being sequential, and they have revealed the get pickups from Mapstone Fragments card at the center square. That means to actually go to the Mapstone Fragment locations in the game, not the altars, and you don't have to worry about turning the fragments into the Mapstones. That's just actually going to the locations. Very nice ground grenade jump from Xemsys, getting some of that boost there. Very nice. He's going to go up here and pick up Gladezer by the looks, and Grenadezer. There's an ability cell and an energy cell here, and Bash, in the meantime, gives runners the much desired traversal that they want with the floatiness of Glide. This opens up not only the entirety of the Ori and the Blind Forest randomizer, but also Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And so he places a safety save here because he doesn't have dash to be or double jump to be able to do this as a quicker check. He's kind of got to do it the vanilla way. So he's just going to go ahead and push this block. And it looks like Athos has decided he wants to head towards the Horu area. He does have the Horu final mini boss as one of the doors that he needs to open. Potentially some other tiles that he needs to check as well in Horu. They do now see the runners, by the way, the Break Walls card in Square Cube 1. And so that kind of gives them a little bit more direction to clear the top, middle, and top left sections of the card. Wind Restored is completely available to the runners. They have Stomp, which can get them towards right side Warlord as well. A bunch of stuff basically is available to them. A little bit surprised they haven't hit that Light Lanterns, but it's a little bit less useful now, even though they're at 4 out of 5, because it only reveals 1 tile.
Yeah, I expect what we'll see is when they are in the cleanup phase, they will have someone. Actually, I think what they've been doing is they've been putting off before they would send someone to lower Blackroot, and Xem is going down there now, so I expect to see him grab that stuff. He's going to skip the grenade tree area entirely. All he's going to care about here are this ability cell, and then the other goals down here that we've been talking about, the laser cell over to the right, the purple door over to the left, and there's going to be some grenades. You're supposed to dash through this area, but you can just crouch under these lasers, which is pretty funny. There are like 3 spots where the floor is not, in fact, tall enough for you to be able to crouch, but otherwise, you're going to be, Zem's going to be able to just crouch under the laser and be just fine.
And Athos dying to the Horror Fields. Acid actually opens up the D5 square, level up either ability, Ultra Defense or Stomp, and that is a big unfortunate. I believe I just saw Xemsys go all the way to Sense, so that's going to be Athos' responsibility, and he is short by, I believe, 3 ability points to be able to do that. Not a big deal in terms of revealing the rest of the card, obviously, because the adjacent tiles have already been revealed for them, but definitely something that we're going to keep in mind, and probably the responsibility of Athos at this point, given Xemsys' recent decision.
Yep. I mean, it's only 10 ability points to Ultra Stomp, so we could see one of them do that, but Ultra Stomp is not the kind of thing you want, usually, and with Athos being only 10 ability points away from Ultra Defense anyways, we will probably see him go to that. He is now going to head to Horu, though.
And specifically on that 6 HP, Ultra Defense and Horu would probably be the better play.
Yeah, definitely. I expect we'll see him get the mini-boss and the teleporter, but I'm curious to see if he will pick up other things in Horu as well. It's a dangerous area that they do have logical access to, but it is not necessarily the best thing for them to be, the best place for them to be searching, because they don't have any more goals there, and they do have other goals they could be progressing to. However, there are some things that are going to be worth grabbing, like these easy-to-grab pickups here, and this mini-boss, which they do have a goal for. And on the left, Xem is making his way to this ability cell. This is that Lost Grove Long Swim ability cell. And that is going to get him another goal. And actually, wow, it's going to reveal 2 more cards.
Yeah, almost the entire board is now revealed except for the top left for the runners. They know they have to collect 2 more pickups in Grove. Go to Valley, collect a bunch of pickups there. Break the walls. Wilhelm Scream is a funny one. A little bit of a Easter egg put in by the devs. When you pick up the Sunstone, there is a red frog that spawns above Curl's rocks, and he's called Wilhelm because if you bash him off of the ledge, he does the patented Wilhelm Scream, and we have implemented that as one of the goals because we think it's hilarious.
Yep, and we're actually going to see Xem make a beeline towards that green frog. Our runners picked up Bash, and because of that, they can do a lot of easy movement with manipulating enemies. Bash is a signature skill in Ori the Blind Forest, and yet there's that Scream.
Imagine remembering the color of Wilhelm.
It's green frog.
I get him conflated with Rango all the time. This is, I don't know.
Frogs on the left half of the map are like almost all green.
Almost.
That's how I remember it. Yeah. All right, and now Xem is going to enter this Sorrow Pass area, which is a great place to go to break walls. There are a fair number of walls here, which is going to be great because they have to break a lot of walls overall.
Yeah, a couple ability cells for them to pick up in the vicinity as well. I would expect that this is probably from Xemsys going to be just smash as many walls as possible and then drop back down and towards a valley, and probably, I don't know, it's at this point. Oh, Touchy's map altar actually was just revealed top left, Forlorn Sorrow and Glades, so that's another goal that Xemsys can pick off real quick. Very nice. And now they basically at this point is not looking for skills or resources or anything. I think they got enough in terms of that. Other than like 2 more ability cells for Athos to get Ultra Defense, but this is pretty much routing now and trying to finish the game as quickly as possible. And Skull, I apologize, I actually have not played enough of this game in recent days. I have been addicted to other things. I'm sorry.
That's tragic.
It is.
All right.
It truly is.
All right. So we've got actually a pretty fast cleanup from our runners. They besides the walls, I think the walls are really going to be the stickling point here. I'm curious to see how they end up breaking that up. It looks like Athos has more progression there. He's got 9 out of the 20 walls, where Xem is only at 6, so I would be unsurprised to see Athos be the one who has to go around collecting the walls. Meanwhile, Xem is focusing on ability cells. He's up to 12. He's only got to get 5 more. And those are really the difficult goals they have left. Pickups in Valley, they need 3 more, which is very easy. And none of the other pickups are going to be none of these other squares are going to be very difficult for them. Again, we're aware of a technical issue that is causing the board to not show some of the pickups, but for the runners, the only squares left remaining are the top left square, touch each map altar, the one right below that, collect pickups in Valley, and then break walls on D1, visit event location on D4, level up either ability on D5, and then the bottom right, get pickups from ability cells.
And Athos knows he's got a couple of ability cells that he could pick up on the way to Forlorn. He's got the Grenade Lock pickup here. And what were the map alters? Forlorn, Sorrow, and Glades. Okay, so they got the Forlorn TP, so that's a pretty easy one. Xemsys, I believe, has already hit the Sorrow map altar.
Yep, he has.
And yeah, so it's just clean up. Like you say, break the walls is probably the big one. Athos covered a lot of that ground in the Ginzo tree, and he's going down here and he's breaking a couple extra walls along to this map altar, and he has one more. Does that Baneling wall on the Forlorn Approach count as a broken wall?
These are all walls. Okay. Forlorn Approach is actually a very wall dense area. Makes a lot of sense to be heading here if with that break wall thing.
Yeah, I just kind of wasn't sure because that lever, you can pull that door up and just something. I don't know.
You can pull the lever back and bring the door down if you end up doing that and want to come back to the door later.
Excellent. Things I have never done in this game for 500, Alex.
Yep. All right. It looks like we are going to see... I'm curious to see where they're going to send Athos to clean up the last set of walls. It would make sense to go to either Valley or Sorrow. It looks like he's going to go to the Valley teleporter for this.
Probably floating up to Sorrow at this point. I would think he's done most of Lower Valley, so...
Yep, I expect that to be what we see from him as well.
Yeah, and with the Forlorn TP, when restored, is a very easy pickup. He is 1 ability point away from getting Ultra Defense, which satisfies the D5 card, and after that, it's just basically ability cells. Looks like Xemsys is on AC duty. Turns out, if you stomp the bird in an appropriate location, the sort of damage aura from the stomp will break that wall. He missed it, but it's okay. He has climb charge jump, so he can break it the intended way. As Xemsys is... sorry, that's Athos that was breaking that wall, and Xemsys is heading into Forlorn as we speak.
Yep. Xem, I think, is going to want to show off a bit of like a strange cutscene skip here. He could take the teleporter into Forlorn because they have it, but he can do some cool jumps here, and basically, if he lands in a very precise spot, nope, he triggered the cutscene. All right, so everybody watch this glowing orb bounce around. And Athos is, I think, on the hunt for walls. He actually just went to one that he'd already been to. It can be really hard to keep track of which walls you have and haven't broken when you are in this kind of state, but he is going to be able to get to that wall soon. Get to the rest of those walls soon. It looks like he's going to Horu, I think, probably...
Yeah, as far as walls go, I don't think that there's a lot that he can do from this position. He's already broken the Horror Fields wall, I think.
I'm going to go to... If this were me, there's one wall in here that counts. There's also the room 2 above this with the laser spinning that has 2 walls in it. And yeah, it looks like he's just remembered which rooms here have walls. A lot of runners, normal speedrunners of the game in almost every category actually are not particularly familiar with the layout of the rooms in Horu because it's just almost never relevant. There are lots of ways to skip Horu in the base game, and it just does not come up very often in the speedrun, and also in the randomizer. So can be really easy to lose track of what's where in Horu. And yeah, now we're seeing Athos do a double bash chain to climb up and get to a room that has a wall in it. Oh,
Yeah,
I think he's going for the wall at the very top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bingo is definitely a randomizer game mode where you will see a lot more of Horu. So if you are a fan of this dungeon, do recommend picking up Bingo for sure. In the traditional randomizer, the goal mode is basically just to visit all the skill trees and then beat the game. So it's kind of like speedrun mode in that sense. So just something to keep in mind if you want to join the Ori Rando community. By the way, you can find us at orirando.com. Link to the Discord, tools to help you out, including a logic helper, obviously the base Rando, Bingo, all available there for you.
Yep. All right, looks like Xem is going to get that wind restored square by heading up here. Meanwhile, I think Athos is just chilling in Horu because there is not a lot of remaining progress to do. He's looking for ability cell pickups because he is close but not yet able to get that level up either ability square, which is one of the few remaining things that they have yet to actually complete. And it looks like I'm curious to see whether Xem is going to do the Forlorn Escape, or yeah, it looks like he is going to go ahead and go through with this. This is going to give him information that he already knows. Completing the Forlorn Escape gives you a hint, but I think he is just going to do it to show off this beautiful escape and the music that plays during it. Just very nice.
There's an ability cell for Athos, that's very handy. I think he's still... I don't think he spent any further points with the blue tree, so I think he's still one away from getting that, unfortunately. The Ultra Defense. Still a... 2 ability cells away from finishing that bottom right goal. Again, because of the technical difficulties in terms of the board updating, just for you guys, the runners have left D1 square, which is break walls, D5, which is level up Ultra Defense or Ultra Stomp, and the bottom right square, which is get pickups from ability cells, which there are 2 away from. So they are much closer than it may appear on your screen to finishing this up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where. Okay. It looks like Athos is going back into Ginzo. There are 2 walls here he hasn't, looks like 1 wall here he hasn't broken. Athos has currently, it looks like 16 walls. So once he gets this one, he'll be up to 17, and that will be just a short 3 walls, and then he'll be able to. Probably, I would be surprised to see him head anywhere but Sorrow, which has the 3 walls that he needs. Meanwhile, Xem is heading up here and grabbing pickups from ability cells. There's 1 right here that he can grab, and that will put him 1 away from the ability cell pickups that he needs. And that was the pickup that had Bash in it.
Yeah, so that should about do it for the bottom right square. Indeed, it does. Athos still won. He's so away.
Went to the wrong teleporter and immediately teleports away. That's a thing that has been known to happen. Sometimes you don't click the teleporter you want, and you're sad, and you have to watch the teleport animation twice. But yeah, there's a wall right here, and then there's going to be another wall right here, and that will put him at 19. And then it's just going to be, once he finds that last wall, 1 more square, and that'll just be the level up either ability square.
I think there's... Oh, that's a really late double jump. I think there is a couple checks. Yeah, he hasn't really cleared out a whole bunch of Sorrow. That experience that he was just trying to pick up and then promptly died to has totally not killed many Ori all skills runs at all, ever in the history of speedrunning this game. This affectionately known as the Dorito Caves. What is it? Nacho Sanctuary, Crispy something. We've got so many names for it.
Yeah, that.
Oh, he goes for Ultra Stomp. Okay, that's very nice. Yeah. So just the 1 wall left.
Right. Yep, and actually we saw on Zem's screen a cute little. Not quite an out-of-bounds trick, a wrong warp trip where he rotated his warp, and that is going to be able to, or that let him be able to grab the pickups. But yeah, it looks like Xem is going to, Athos does break the last wall, and that is going to be a blackout, and our runners are getting that message. In Bingo, you get, you don't have to complete your goals and then complete the game, you complete it when you get a goal, so that is going to be time for our runner. Excellent.
Yeah, GG to the guys. We'll get them in here for a quick chat. Looks like
Yeah.
Xemsys wants to show off a thing, and then we'll get them
I
in
think that was the
for
warp displacement
warp
to
key?
Sunstone
Okay.
that he did.
I got Xemsys in the waiting room, and Athos will be pulling them in short order.
Shall I bring them in then?
Yeah, bring them in. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get them in here.
All right.
GG, guys.
Good game.
GG.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thanks.
So, pretty powerful set of starting skills. Didn't end up finding dash, but you had a lot of mobility and access to a lot of areas early. How did you guys decide to go about that early game routing with what you could see on the card?
So we had let me remember. So we had the Hologrove TP activation and the BRB pickups as our starting squares, if I remember correctly. Then in our first set of pickups, we didn't really find anything for wall interaction or verticality or anything, but we got that Grove TP, so we split up. I went for some zombies just in case to get over to that fallen approach area, and it paid off. So that was pretty good.
I think
Yeah,
for me, especially, sorry, Aiko, I just remember that I always forget Butter Cell and I always forget those one-offs, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to go and I'm going to swim and I'm going to grab all the one-offs and it's going to be fine.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of marathon safety decisions. In terms of the card opening up, it kind of grabbed a whole bunch of squares at once for you that were sort of convenient. The one that sticks out to me was on your end, Xemsys, with unlocking basically a whole bunch of Blackroot pickups pretty quick. How do you feel that impacted some of the decision making that you guys made when you kind of, and Athos, you got the water vein right outside Ginzo as well?
Yeah, so there was actually some lucky safety going on there where Athos went for the stomp area Rhino just in case earlier and that kind of stuff. So once we actually got that Blackroot unlock, we saw on the card that Haru mini boss is on the board. So with that lucky water vein find at the same minute, we just went for that. And otherwise, there was a lot opening up at once, so it was just a checklist from there on, basically.
Yeah. All right. I've got. How did you guys decide to divvy up things like walls and ability cells? Because that was those like counter pickups or basically those high number things were basically it looked like the thing that were like keeping you guys busy the longest.
For walls, at least, it was decided pretty quickly because I went to Ginzo, and Ginzo has a bunch of walls, so I was ahead. I think when we made the decision, I had 8, and Xem had 5, so we are like, okay, I have more, so just go do that.
Yeah, with walls and ability sets taking so long, we just I think we had like 5 squares left, and then I saw, okay, it's 3 really fast squares, and but the wall count is still so low. So at that moment, we kind of knew we had to split at this very moment to get this running.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you for combining the show off Ori Rando Bingo. Again, you can go and find the randomizer for Ori 1 at orirando.com. Which will have obviously the regular base rando and the rando bingo. We are also working on a rando for Ori 2, Will of the Wisps, trying to get that pushed out to a stable release version as soon as possible. So if you go to the Ori Rando site or speedrun.com site, you'll be able to find the Discord. You can see there, join the Ori community, orirando.com/Discord. That will give you to the not only the Ori Runs Discord is for both speedrunning and kind of randomizer talk. So you can go there. Very welcoming community, very helpful. If you have any questions, tons of people are always around to answer any questions that you might have. So with that, we are done, and we will hand it off back to the Bingothon organizers to get ready for Yakuza 0.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, as you just said, please stay with us. We are getting ready for the next one, which is gonna be a Yakuza 0 2v2 Blackout Bingo. Stay tuned.
Well, hello everyone. Wasn't that was quite the exciting run, PogChamp.
Hello there, everyone. For Hayo.
Well, what did you think of this run, Thinking Face?
I think it was really Krigasm.
And
The run was really Krigasm.
Yeah, really, both the runners and the commentary was just amazing. PogChamp.
Oh,
I'm plugging your emote now.
certainly, PogChamp. But you know what is also amazing? Thinking Face emoji.
Thinking Face.
Well, you can win some prizes, PogChamp.
Oh yeah, we've got some exciting, really exciting prizes, Poggers. Oh god. So first off, we've got some Bingothon mugs, eyes emoji. That first one really is, I mean, who wouldn't want to drink a cup of coffee or tea in a nice and warm Bingothon cup?
Well, I can tell you, I am drinking some orange juice right out of this orange emoji.
Lol emote now. Well, W. But the big poggers moment, even more poggers than a Bingothon mug, is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, digital copy, so with a download code provided by yours truly.
That is really Floha too cool for you.
Exactly. And
totally not plugging my own emotes.
You know what's really good about this game? It's really got a Sour Please soundtrack.
Sour Please.
Exactly. Just put this emote and you'll just go full Krigasm, Sour Please.
Alright, however, we are raising money for Fred Hutch money emoji. Dollar sign emoji. Yeah, and if you were listening to the if you just watched the Fred Hutch interview with Guppy, then you would know what they're doing. They're doing some really awesome stuff. Ear emoji. So yeah.
Definitely something I would recommend doing to everyone. If you didn't manage to catch the interview with Guppy from Fred Hutch that we had, I would definitely advise when it comes out watching the VOD that will be releasing on our YouTube channel when the time comes. I guess camera emoji. Because it was really an informative opportunity for all of us. We really learned a lot with it, and it's really amazing that someone like that would take their time out of their schedule emoji to talk with us about specifically the coronavirus, research about it. And I think everyone who was here to listen to this interview really now starts to really understand how important it is that we get those donations in, because this really helps fund their Next Train project, and just as a whole, it really is an excellent step towards eventually beating the coronavirus. So yeah, get those donations in for that. As we said, it has...
We also have some. If you decide to donate, you can put your money towards some great upcoming bit wars crossing swords emoji.
Oh.
For example, we have a bit war coming up for the Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver Randomizer that is coming up tomorrow morning. Then we've got a bid war for the trainer name, where we don't have any options yet. And we also got something for the rival name. Then we have one option right now, which is at HKN, which is at $5. Surprised Pikachu face. That counts as emote.
Also, if you really like Bid Wars, we've got a few more ones that will be going all over, the rest of the marathon. But we obviously can't state them all right now because it's just too much. But the one I really would like to bring a particular attention to, which will be for tomorrow afternoon, is for the music bingo. Because that is quite a special type of bingo we'll be seeing here. Put music note emoji here. Because specifically what this bingo will be, and as I said, it will be tomorrow during the afternoon, Panda, who will be doing this bingo, will be composing a 3-minute track. I will have to fulfill certain goals depending, for instance, on the genre and lots of factors like that. And there is a particular bid war to choose the genre of the music that Panda will have to compose, which are drum and bass, dubstep, house, lo-fi hip-hop, techno, trap, and vaporwave. And I think this is a really unique type of bingo. So although we're still a bit early to talk about it, I think it's worth bringing up. What do you think?
Well, I hope that Panda is gonna compose a really sour please track for us to listen to.
Exactly. We're all gonna go Sarah Please on Panda's track. I can guarantee it already. You can clip me saying that, put like a clapper emoji right now. So clip me saying that, and if it's not Sarah Please, well, you can send that to me and you can do things, I guess.
Monka S emoji.
Exactly.
Monka Omega. But I want to remind everyone that we're just waiting here right now for the upcoming Yakuza 0 Blackout Bingo stopwatch.
Exactly. We should be starting in just a few minutes, I believe. Stopwatch, I guess I repeat, so it's a cheat, but will soon be released from this curse. Crap, what can I put for that? You run out of ideas.
Not like this.
Not like this. There we go. And Bless RNG will be ready on time. This is the most cancerous way of talking right now. Dead face emoji.
We gotta put through with it, though. What face? And to be honest, this is quite hilarious, lol.
This is the host Blackout Bingo. We got to hold our standard on it. Triumph emoji.
I'm slowly going out of ideas on what I could say, Monka S. I can't anymore. I can't anymore. Kek W.
How longer can we hold F emoji?
I think this is literally the definition of Kek W right now.
Someone please send help. Red cross emoji, I guess. Send help.
Ambulance emoji.
we've got two hosts that are absolutely dying right now, and exactly, we're gonna cry. We're just gonna go Bible thump.
Coffin emoji. Is there even a coffin emoji? I don't know.
For those that may have just joined in on the stream, just would like to recall that the next run that will be starting, calendar emoji, will be the Yakuza 0 Blackout Bingo run by Lone, Lord Mouse, Weber, and Fred McGuffin. And they've got some really snazzy team names. For Lone and Lord Mouse, we've got Kuz's Crusaders. And for Weber and Fred McGuffin, we've got the Dragons of Dojima. So indeed, those are some really, really cool team names. What do you think, Thinking Face?
We actually gotta change there. What face? The Dragons of Dojima are not called Dragons of Dojima anymore. They are now called. Give me a minute. I need to find it. Stopwatch emoji. They're now called the. They are now called the. They're now called the Magimaniacs.
No.
The Magimaniacs.
The Magimaniacs. Well, it's gonna be a very magic run. Ha. 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 Clap, clap. Ha.
I can't anymore. Someone please send help. Make that the next setup goes faster. Running Man emoji.
I just hope we're doing our job properly in making you wait for this exciting run, and especially because it's actually going to be one of the longer runs of the marathon, because it's got an estimate of 4 hours running, like clock emoji. So definitely, in fact, looking at the schedule, I don't think it's not just one of the longest. I think it might be the longest run of the entire marathon.
Surprised Pikachu face.
Exactly, surprise Pika face. I'm Pikastroph, so I've got a surprise Pika face. There we go. So yeah, definitely, this is going to be a run worth staying for. Because with a 4-hour run, there's bound to be so many ups and downs. I'm sure it's going to be a real roller coaster to watch.
Roller coaster emoji.
Thank you. Gratitude emoji, or the one where we've got the hands and this like together.
Bless emoji. Pray. I don't know.
Bless. There we go. That one. I don't know.
I don't know. Question mark emoji. Someone, please, send help.
So,
I don't know what to say anymore.
Tell us, chat. How do you think you can evaluate the sanity of the hosts that are currently on stream? I'm really curious, Thinking Face.
I would rate not like this out of Kriegasm.
Feeling poggers, or are you feeling not like this, or are you feeling yeah, not like that?
I have no idea anymore how I am feeling. Question mark emoji. Confused emoji? I don't know if something like that exists.
Well, I I don't know what it is I'm feeling, but what I can say is I'm really feeling it. Okay, I will show my profile.
What I can say though is that you should all donate to Fred Hutch. You've seen you've earlier seen the interview with Guppy, I hope. Yeah, it's really awesome. He was so great talking. I think we could have done that interview still a lot longer than we could have. So yeah, meaning every dollar you donate to Fred Hutch counts. Or sign emoji. Oh, and Craigasm, I just got the notification that we are almost ready with the next run.
The next run being, if you just joined in right this second, being the Yakuza 0 run, specifically the Blackout Bingo. So this one is definitely going to be, as I said, an exciting run, and it looks like we're going to be starting finally in just a few minutes. So remember that all of the donations will go towards Fred Hutch. So all going towards a great cause. If you guys remember, there will soon be probably on VOD on YouTube the interview we've just had with Guppy, one of the representatives. And with those donations, you can both use them in the incentives and bid wars, or to potentially get the prizes, including the Bingothon mug or Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. So yeah, definitely get those donations in. It's been your most sane hosts yet, Floa and Picostrof, and Yakuza 0 will be starting in just a few minutes. See you all now.
Augers. See ya. Vohayo.
Vobayo.